Al-Qaeda has dedicated an unusual amount of its acts towards encouraging attacks on Israel, Jewish institutions and Jewish people, given shift in the Islamist environment, including outbreak of violence between Israel and Hamas. In May 2021, and Al-Qaeda's expectation that it will gain a safe operational haven in Afghanistan as the United States withdraws from the country. Then Al-Qaeda and Taliban may intend to recommit to attack Israel. The cover image of Al-Qaeda's article show you something that what is behind the normalization with Israel, the mysteries of the terms and the dangers of its machinations. Shows a figure bearing the flag of Israel, the European Union and the United States giving orders to bodies of news organizations, social media, finance and United Nations, Hollywood and government. The nation that Israel and the West secretly control international organizations and the news media is a common anti-Semitic theory. And Al-Qaeda released one Ummah magazine, the outpouring of anti-Semitic rhetoric in response to the Israel-Hamas conflict, and Al-Qaeda's praise for Hamas field commanders in an official publication representing a shift in Al-Qaeda's relations with Hamas all suggested that Al-Qaeda is recommitting to attacking Israel and Jewish people around the world. Al-Qaeda's one Ummah magazine dedicated its own anti-Semitic conspiracy theory that Jewish people control global governments and trade, as well as condemnation of Arab leaders who have participated in normalization process with Israel. The first article, What is Behind the Normalization with Israel, suggests that Israel is using political normalization process to eliminate Arab influence in the Middle East. When Israel has built up enough strength, the article predicts that more Jewish people will flock to Israel, create settlement throughout all of the Palestine and end with the complete capture and domination over Islamic lands. The article goes on to assert that the main goal of the normalization process is to erase Muslim culture and identity from the Middle East, and that the process is being pushed by Jewish control of the global media and Western governments. The second article in one Ummah continues with the title of a statement on the ruling of normalization with the Jews as anti-Semitic passages from religious texts, assert that the true end goal of the Arab-Israel peace process is the surrender, alteration and cancellation of Muslim autonomy, and that those who cooperate with Israel are not true Muslims. Following the conflict between Hamas and Israel in May 2021, Al-Qaeda re-released the article in their magazine with the title Love and Renovation and Support for the People of Palestine. The section called for the beginning of the Third Intifada, which the authors hoped would allow the Arabs to overthrow the state of Israel. You should remember that there have been two Palestinian Intifadas. First Intifada, a Palestinian uprising against the Israel occupation lasting from December 1987 to 1993. Second Intifada or Al-Aqsa Intifada, a period of intensified Israel-Palestinian violence, which began in late September 2000 and ended around 2005. And now the third Intifada announcement from Al-Qaeda creates difficulties for Israel, as early this week US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin told lawmakers that it will take groups like Al-Qaeda or Islamic State possibly about 2 years to regenerate the capability to plan attacks against the United States and its Western allies. So there is a sign too after withdrawal of American troops from Afghanistan, Taliban groups and Al-Qaeda re-emerged and will pose to America and Israel to revenge their lost in 20 years war. And time is running out, with US and coalition troops like to be out of Afghanistan well before the September deadline set by Biden.